point is to get rid of Bezos by any means necessary. If we need to grab his entire net worth, then we'll do that. If he wants to give it up to us, we'll take it and we'll let him live. Down to him. So
well, I see what you're saying, and you know, I wish you luck. I hope you come up with a solution, or find somebody that does come up with a solution.
I just want you not to be complicit anymore in this.
I'm sorry, but my job is to protect people, life and property, and this is how I'm doing it right now.
Well, your job is to protect people. Yep. And life. I don't.
And property. Yep.
Property in the sense that you don't want stuff.
That's the American Fire Service.
But you don't.
Life first, then property.
But you don't want to. But you're talking about stopping a burning building, correct?
Well, and protecting people from burning in fire. So the way I look at it is, we have fairly good fire protection just because we live in a house. All right. Just because somebody lives in a tent doesn't mean that they should get substandard fire safety.
Okay.
So that's my goal, is to make sure they're as safe as possible while I'm here.
Is the fire risk here dangerous? Is significant though? It's
yeah. There's no fire barriers in between these tents.
Right.
So.
But how frequently do the fires burn down encampments?
We had 4 big ones just last week. And I don't know if anybody got hurt, because that stuff doesn't get reported.
Okay.
So the risk, the fire risk doesn't go away just because you're living in a tent.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fact that people seem to think that just because somebody's living on the street, they don't deserve, fire protection too.
Yeah, so and I don't think
that's my job.
No one would question that.
No, that's my job here.
But you don't handle fire.
I don't.
Well, no, I'm not. Let me finish. You don't handle fire right now when you're involved in this, correct? You handle other safety hazards. You handle the needle aspect of it, right?
The fire prevention divisions throughout the country, they're kind of leaning toward changing their name, their mission statement or their name to community risk reduction. So that's a horse designed by a committee, isn't it? So my job isn't just fire prevention; it's here to reduce risk.
Right, okay? Right.
So even though it's not just fire, it's risk. Okay, yeah. So I'm here to advocate for everybody here. The people loading stuff, the people living here, everybody, to make sure everybody's safe, so that at the end of this operation nobody gets hurt, and maybe I can pass on some fire safety advice to the people that have to live on the street, and they're already at risk, so maybe their risk has gone down a little bit. So you don't have to agree with it, but that's how I see my job.
No, and I'm not. That job doesn't sound like it's in any way an issue to me. I'm not gonna pick I don't have any bones to pick with that approach. Obviously they have means by which to keep themselves warm. Usually that might involve some sort of candle in a can or with a terracotta pot, and they do those kind of things when there is a fire hazard. I'm aware of that. The approach maybe would be to supply them with fire extinguishers. Seems to be a plausible option.
So there you go. Get yourself some of those good small ones.
And of course there wouldn't be a city budget to provide that, right? There wouldn't be taxpayer funded options.
Are you going to step up and be a leader? That'd be great. I'd appreciate it.
Maybe I'll give your
I'll take
boss a call.
I'll take all the help I can get.
Do you have a business card?
Absolutely.
I can give your boss a call and say, hey, here's a solution. Okay. When these encampments are there, why don't you guys provide them with fire extinguishers? I don't need to. You have a budget. I don't need to use my personal money to account for that when I pay taxes. Okay. This is paid for by my money, and another solution to you showing up and having to put a fire out, which costs money, is to have fire extinguishers so that they do it themselves, and then you don't have to. Okay. So that's a solution. You come out here and you spend money putting a fire out.
Yeah.
So if we prevent that, then resources are saved, not spent.
You're absolutely right. So
all right.
I appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate you speaking with me.
So you take care.
You too.
Good luck.
Well, I guess.
Sorry?
I'm just interested. I don't have a.
No worries.
When cleaning things up, or just trying to?
they've got it big enough that they can kind of, you know, get it cleaned up.
It's a sweep.
That'll happen. So wait, like, I'm just interested in how it works. There's like a heads up. So there's like a heads up to the people.
Yeah,
and
usually
like you have a few
the
days
city,
probably
according to the
move
court
around.
agreements,
Sure.
the city posts a 7-day notice.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to come through this place. You know, we need to clean it up. So
Right. Okay.
here's your 7-day notice, and then we come by 7 days later. We clean up, offer to store stuff. And,
yeah.
You know.
And if they don't want stuff to be stored, they can leave it.
Yeah. Or take it all away.
And when they go, is there like an extra place that they're like kind of directed to, or like no?
No.
Kind of like
That's why they're across the street over there, and that's why all their carts are over there. They'll move to the first patch of grass and stay there.
Unfortunately, right now we don't have a alternative.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm not telling you your job.
We
I'm just
try
interested
to,
to see what happens. I have like no experience with any of this, so it's interesting to see. It's not an easy.
Well,
not an easy problem,
it's a
right?
process where we're all here,
right? Yeah,
working to help get it figured out. So,
yeah.
Your eyes maybe are the one that says, I see the solution.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't tell you. You might be the one. You're going to be
it's like a thing that's being.
Oh, here, let's get this fixed.
It's a growing problem, I think, in a lot of different.
Across the country.
Yeah. So it's kind of wondering like how, in my head, not knowing a whole lot, not being hands-on really.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it is like a mental health thing, and then there's a drug aspect to it.
Dynamic.
And it's not. Yeah, there's no one. Because any mental health thing, it's not like a one-size-fits-all.
And that's another thing in America, in the United States especially, the mental health is not looked at as quite the disease that we should look at.
Right.
So
it's kind of stigmatized.
So,
exactly.
And again, this is all where we're trying to get better as a society.
Because you can pour as much money as you want towards it, but mental health stuff too is a lot about the person themselves. They need the resources to help themselves, but you can't force someone.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, even with people with resources, struggle.
Yes.
Very, very hard.
You're absolutely right.
So
I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So I appreciate you talking to us.
I just hoping that you all come up with a solution.
Sure.
I'm pretty close to it. I'm probably
way more than I am. Yeah. At what point does the city say, okay, we need to, kind of bear this thing back?
I don't know what the criteria is.
Okay.
Things get submitted to the neighborhood calls their representatives.
Right.
And people analyze it, maybe do their tea leaves, and they say this one's got to the point where they need to do something.
Right.
So some of them might be a fire issue, or the fire is so bad where the fire department would say, yeah, we recommend this because this is really bad.
Right.
A lot of times it's the health department, and then sometimes it's just street maintenance or neighborhood.
Right.
It's pretty bad. So, it's not a solution. It's not a solution. It's just until we can get the solution.
Yeah, it's
trying to keep things from getting.
And it's you're not just coming in the middle of the night and taking their crap, throwing it away.
That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. Ask them when they turned up today. It's probably like 4 or 5 a.m.
But they gave them a heads up.
So was it a week? I think it's 48 hours you guys actually do.
There's a 7-day notice.
7-day notice
posted.
The CDC gave guidelines not to sweep homeless encampments due to the virus, and that's still in place.
Yep.
So they're in violation of a CDC guideline.
So it's a guideline, and that goes into the factor. Is it worse to move them or leave them?
Right.
And so all of that's taken into account.
Oh, that's interesting.
Again, and I certainly, you make a good point. But it is a factor. Can we just leave somebody because we don't want to move them?
Right.
So it's not an easy decision, but at the same time.
It's hard without
It's
hard without
hope is not a tactic,
Right.
We can employ right. So, we're stumbling through it. We're trying to get better. And when somebody